It is a great honor and a privilege to introduce Charna. Your maiden name was Tuchman Raisch, and we're here in your beautiful home in Yerushalayim. And Charna, can you tell us a little bit about your family, where you were born?
That I can tell. I was born in Vishnitz. Vishnitz is a small town near Chernovitz. It's called Bukovina. Till 1918, it was a part of Austria. And the German culture was built in. After מלחמת העולם הראשונה,
the First World War, they divided.
No, it wasn't not yet divided. זה הפך לחלק של רומניה.
It became part of Romania.
Part of Romania, till 1940.
Till 1940.
כן. ב-1940, the Russians came in and were there 1 year. 41, the Germania came in. And ב-41, גירשו אותנו.
They expelled
us to Bukovina, to Transnistria. Transnistria is Hadniester is Nahar.
It's a flow.
It's like a river.
A river, a big river, a Russian river, and Germany conquered this place and gave them to Romania. And Otanu, they sent us to Transnistria.
And how old are you at this time?
3.5. This is my Saba and Sapta.
Your grandparents.
Yeah. They had אחוזה גדולה בקרפטים. Tuchman family had many forests in the Carpathia. איך נקרא הכפר שלהם? איך נקרא הכפר של סבא וסבתא?
So the village was called?
Vishnitz. It was near Vizhenka and Vishnitz. The Carpathen Heights. And the family, Tuchman family, had many forests there. And they lived together, all the brothers, in Dichtenitz. My grandfather was one of the brothers. There were 3 brothers who lived in Dichtenitz. Later on, when his wife Charna passed away, he left. He left. He left from Dichtenitz to Vishnitz, and he finished his life in Vishnitz.
Did he become a Vishnitz Chassid?
בטח, אני לא, but my family מאוד. This is the one picture which I get here in Israel, because we came with nothing. Here I am 1 year old. Here is my mother אחרי המלחמה.
After the war.
This is my father before the, לפני המלחמה, before the war. We left Vishnitz together with all the Jewish people on the way to Transnistria, and my father was killed. I was 4 years old when 4 Ukrainians killed him. And it was in a village, איך קוראים לו? בנצי, גם את זה שכחתי כבר. איך נקרא הכפר שאבא קבור בפורסט? רודנסקי. There is no Jewish בית כפרות שמה.
There's no symmetry.
ודאי שלא. And אמא, my mother chose 2 Jewish people to bury him in the forest. And then Emma fled away from the village because one of the farmers wanted to take me, to adopt me, and he had only banim,
only sons,
and he wanted also a girl. And my mother said that he was בלבטיש האוקראיני הזה, he was a בן אדם, a mensch,
a good person.
A good person. He promised my mother that I never will know that I am adopted, and everything that his children will get, I will get also. And in this night, my mother fled away from the kfar, from the village, into the ghetto. And we arrived into the ghetto, and it's a long story.
You were with your mother?
I with my mother came.
She decided not to give to the...
ודאי שלא. She fled away. And בתוך הגטו, he find her cousin. She find her cousin, Hannah, that his בעלה was a doctor, a doctor who studied in Vienna. And the family was very sad when she married a doctor who is not religious. And this doctor, he saved me in the ghetto. I had all kinds of typhus I had there, and cholera and ababuot, and I remained alive.
He saved you?
He saved us. Okay. He saved us.
Were you the only child?
כן. My parents were... אבא שלי היה כבר אלמן, ואימי כבר הייתה... They were an old couple. וב-44, ב-44, the Russian הוציאו אותנו מהגטו.
They took you out of the ghetto.
Out of the ghetto, and we were on the way to Chernowitz. ושוב, it's a long, long story, ואחר כך זה ברדאוץ, ואחר כך I was alone 2 years in Bucharest, והגעתי ארצה.
When you got to Chernowitz, you came with your mother?
כן.
And who else from the family survived?
It's the sister of my mother and her and brother of my mother. They survived and they came also to Chernowitz, and all of us we fled away from the Russian because we were sure that Russia will close the door. So from Romania we could came to Israel. ואחר כך, to Israel, it was a long, long, long story. Too long story.
Can I ask, do you remember the end of the war? Do you remember?
כן, מאוד, מאוד. I remain two partisan who came into our room and told us that the Russians are close to us and we will be delivered, and I remained the whole way to Chernowitz. It was bombing, and Russian trains took us. We came. I remember one of the trains of coals. They delivered coals, and I with my mother sat here, and here were 3 soldiers, women, and they gave us food, and they were very, very nice. And till now, with Stalin I have another cheshbon, but Stalin saved us. So.
And can I ask, in the ghetto, were you always very hungry?
הסיפור הוא that the hunger, I remember את הכל, but not I'm hungry. I didn't need my food. When I came to Israel and at school, the האחות made a fuss, עסק גדול, that I'm too small and I have not את המשקל, I didn't know what she wants. לא, בוודאי שהיינו כל הזמן רעבים, מה כבר היה שם?
And in the ghetto, do you remember the living conditions?
בוודאי, כבר לא הייתי תינוקת.
How old are you?
I was כבר 5 וחצי, and 6.
You were 5 and 6?
And 6 וחצי, I remember it, את זה גטו, בטח.
Did you see people dying in front of you?
בוודאי שכן, משום שהעגלה עברה כל יום בין two people with איזושהי עגלה. They went day by day and entered the חדרים, the houses, and took away, who passed away. It was סיפור של יום יום, זה לא היה פעם.
It was every day?
בוודאי שכן.
And did you remember seeing the German soldiers?
No, not German, אני לא זוכרת German soldiers.
Who was guarding the ghetto?
מבחוץ, אנחנו לא יצאנו אף פעם. We never got out of the ghetto. מה שאני זוכרת כשהביאו, a brother of my mother ברח and entered the ghetto, and תפסו אותו, תפסו שניים, והרגו אותם באמצע הכפר. אני לא יודעת מי הם היו שהרגו, אם זה היה רוסים, אוקראינים, גרמנים, מה אני יודעת מי זה היה.
They killed him.
ודאי. Not by, לא עם רובה, עם מכות.
They gave him, not with the gun, they...
לא, הם לא היו שם.
The Ukrainians and
the Romanians, זה made זה, את רוב העבודה.
They did most of the...
בטח שכן. בטח שכן. כן.
And how did your mother remain sane? How did she...
כמו כולם. The story which I was told, first of all that my father is in Gan Eden, וכבר טוב לו.
And it's good for him.
It's good for him. And when after he was killed, I was very angry why he didn't take me also. כי זה מאוד טוב שם, why I'm not with him. ואחר כך, ארץ ישראל, we have to come to ארץ ישראל. שמה, everything, ארץ זבת חלב ודבש, and I didn't understand nothing. But it was built in. So we have to come to Israel. זה כל הסיפור.
And what was the name of the ghetto that you were staying in?
Jurin.
And today, where is the ghetto? Does it still exist?
We were there with 2 sons and 2 grandchildren. And it's more כפר than
It's like a village.
than a village. זה מקום קטן.
Well, in which country is it today?
Ukraine.
It's all in Ukraine.
גם Vishnitz is in Ukraine, and Charna Raisch is in Ukraine. Where we were born, Ben Zion and I, it's Ukraine. So.
And just on a side, when you see the war going on today between Ukraine and Russia, it must be very... It's not that simple.
לא, זה קצת... לא... די כאב לי. אין לי איזה שהם סנטימנטים to אוקראינה. But I didn't like the war. And I don't like our situation today.
Mich as well.
Because it's too much. It's too much. So.
And can I ask, I know it's hard, but when you went back to Chernovitz, how did you feel coming back? Was there anything to come back to?
No, Benzi find his house. He knew the way how to go there. And I was born in Vishnitz. I didn't remain, I remembered only the house, but not too much. It was משונה, אבל זה בסדר.
In Vishnitz, did you go back?
כן, היינו בוויז'ניץ.
And how was it like going back to Vishnitz?
לא משהו מיוחד. ראיתי את הבית שלי, זכרתי.
Could you go inside? Could you go inside?
לא, זה... קצת היא נתנה לנו להיכנס, זכרתי משהו, but not too much.
And are there any Jews living there today?
אני לא חושבת. אני לא יודעת.
And was there the shul? Does the shul still exist, or?
יש שם. בית הכנסת הגדול, אבל...
That's the big shul.
אני לא הלכתי לבית הכנסת שם. אני הלכתי... The last summer, I was with my father with the course אבא שלי היה האחו, it was a place with cows and with a little מחלבה לחמאה וגבינה כן, זה היה פרנסה של אבא שלי, והקרקעות היו שהסבא הוריש. היה בסדר, לא מדי emotional when we came back. So.
And then your mother knew that you had to leave and then you went to Romania.
כן, מרומניה. We chose a way to Israel.
And how long were you in Romania?
שנתיים, בעצם 4 שנים. 4 שנים.
4 years in Romania?
כן.
In where? In which town?
2 years in Radovs and 2 years in Bucharest. So.
And in Bucharest, do you remember, did you go to the shul, to the choral synagogue?
אתה מצחיק אותי.
They've still got this
you speak in a שפה, in a language, זה מתאים לאמריקה, לכל היהודים שהגיעו הנה והנה. סיפור אחר לגמרי. I was 2 years in Bucharest without my mother. בלי בתי כנסת. בסדר.
What were you doing for the 2 years?
מה עשיתי במשך שנתיים? Nothing.
Were you in an orphanage or did they?
It was called a kibbutz and afterwards an orphanage. It's a long story.
And your mother, where was she?
She was in Israel.
She came before you?
כן.
And you couldn't come with her?
כנראה שלא. I had to come 2 weeks after her. וזה מה שיצא.
And how did you eventually get to come to...
סיפור ארוך.
It's a long story. But they managed to... Did you get a certificate?
כן, בסוף היה לנו certificate, כן.
And what year did you come to Israel?
After 1 week, I went to school.
But what year did you arrive in Haifa?
מה זה רב? לאיזה נורא?
מתי, איזה שנה הגעת לארץ?
בסוף 49.
49?
כן.
That's already after the state was declared?
נכון, בטח שכן.
You couldn't go before?
No, because Romanian closed the doors because Russia
became communist.
כן, Romanian הפכה לקומוניסטית, ורש"א נתנה את הפקודות.
So you were separated from your mother for 2 years?
For 2 years, כן.
Did you have any contact?
1 year I had contact, 1 year nothing.
Oh, so it must have been, and how old were you at that time?
I came to Israel, I was 11 and a half.
To be at 11 without contact, it must have been so difficult.
הכל היה under control, הכל היה בסדר. It's life.
And you went on the ship by yourself? Did you go on the ship?
No, we were 14 children who came together.
And how was the reunion when you saw your mother after being separated?
When על האונייה,
The boat?
on the boat, it was a desk מכל המפלגות.
All the parties?
כן, and asked all of us אם our family was religious, because it was a big battle here in Israel, that children who religious children were sent to kibbutzim, not religious. And I said, I am Charna Raisch, and I have a mother here in Haifa. Two people stand, one of them have Meir Katz, and he said, I didn't know it's the address, כי one year, יעקב כץ. I was separated לגמרי מאמא שלי.
Complete separation.
כן, אז הוא אמר, it's my, הזכות שלי להביא אותך לאמא.
It's my obligation to bring you to your mother.
Yeah. He took my yad,
Your hand?
my hand, and we went to a monit, and he a taxi, and he said the nahak where my mother lives.
He knew?
כן, בטח. והוא הוביל אותי הביתה, to my mother. That's it.
And when you saw your mother?
When she saw me, because הנהג שאל אותי, your mother knows that you come? אמרתי, no. אז הוא ניגש ודיבר איתה, ולא חשוב, היא ניסתה לסחוב אותי דרך החלון, אבל הגעתי לישראל, באתי לחיפה, התחלתי ללמוד. זהו.
And your mother, did she remain religious? Did she?
זה הכל חסידות, זה היה חסידות סדיגר, וזה הכל חסידות.
She was Hasidish.
כן.
And Jenna, can I ask, in the picture you've got two other, can you show who else is in the picture?
This is my mother. Here is ברדוץ, והיר זה כבר פה בארץ.
And this is when she was in Israel.
כן, וזה אבא שלי.
And in the middle, that is...
וזו אני...
How old were you there?
בת 10.
That's when you were 10.
כן.
And this picture of you at 1, is that the only picture you have?
The only one. וקיבלתי אותה פה בארץ, כמו שקיבלתי את התמונה פה בארץ.
How did you have this picture?
פה, הכל בארץ.
You had relatives?
I had a sister מצד אבא.
From your father, like a half sister?
Half sister. And she came to Israel ב-33 או 34.
33 or 34?
כן, because בוויז'ניץ, the young people, חלק מהם connect to communism and חלק to Zionist. My sister Pnina connect to communism. And it was ברור שכל מי שתופסים אותו הולך לבית סוהר. So,
They go to prison
ודאי.
if they get caught.
So he married her friend and to Israel. And her friend מהר מאוד פה בארץ הלך לעולמו, because the condition פה בארץ was so difficult. She was בין אלה בקיבוץ יגור, but she couldn't live there. She married, וברוך השם. זהו.
It's amazing that you, and when you saw your mother, did you reconnect or was it difficult to...
לא, בטח לא הייתי כל כך, הייתי רק שנתיים בלעדיה.
You were 2 years with her?
Only 2 years. בטח שהיה לי קומנטרן שלי.
But you weren't cross that she left without you? You never felt... It's a very difficult question.
It's a
very difficult.
Okay.
And it must have been very difficult for your mother as well. Must have been the most difficult decision.
She wanted to go back to Romania, but the family she had here too, a brother and a sister, and they hold her, כל פעם, maybe I will come. טוב, זה לקח רק שנתיים, only 2 years.
And were you close with your mother's family, with your uncles and aunts?
כן. I was close also to my sister, because my mother was afraid. My mother poor in Haifa, she tried to להרחיק אותי מכל family from my father, because they were not religious. They came before the war to Israel. And my sister, she gained me and gained my mother also, because my mother was afraid they will take me away. She was afraid.
And was she a bit religious,
my father,
your sister?
מה פתאום? בכלל לא.
She wasn't at all?
ודאי שלא.
But your mother had a good connection with her?
כן. He had a good connection because my sister, he made everything to haggle us.
What was her name?
Pnina, Doda Pnina. All my children know Doda Pnina. So.
It's an incredible story. And it's unbelievable.
זה הסטוריס של עם ישראל.
It's a story of the...
זה הסטורי שנשחי פה בארץ.
And did you always keep your אמונה?
בואי אני אגיד לך משהו עם האמונה שלי. I don't know what it was עם האמונה. I came to...
It's your faith.
I came לחיפה. First of all, I entered the school בית יעקב.
It's a religious school.
ודאי. And I was surrounded by religious people. And later on I was in the Ezra. You know what it Ezra?
It's a youth movement.
כן, ואחר כך I was בכיתה י' when we met. So I remained religious כי זה מה שהיה. Only, and I worked in religious בתי ספר.
In schools.
University was not religious, so what? אבל, הייתי כבר בת 50 וכמה, then I started to learn קצת חסידות, קבלה, מעבר למה שצריך, הלכה, איך להתנהג. It came later on. First of all, זה הלכה, so you have to behave, that's all. אחר כך זה הגיע מעבר לזה. Something over it. זה הכל.
And when you met your husband, and the wedding must have been also such a special wedding.
אני לא יודעת מה היה הספיישל. תגיד לי מה היה הספיישל.
So, how old are you in this picture?
פה אני בת 17, עדיין עם עצמה. 16. בת כמה אני פה עם עצמה? בת 16. מה שהיה כיף, איפה אנחנו?
This is the wedding. But your mother must have been so emotional at the wedding to see.
כן, בטח שכן. איפה? הנה, אתה רואה? אתה רואה את התמונה הזו, זה הכיף.
It's a teal.
Yeah, שנינו.
It's so wonderful.
Before our wedding.
And can I ask, when you were at school, did the other children, did they ask you what happened to you during the war?
No. When I came in this, לבית ספר,
to the school?
it was before העלייה. אחר כך הגיעה העלייה הגדולה, שנה אחר כך. The children were או יקים, או קצת גור. המורות, nobody speaks Yiddish. זה המורות.
The teachers.
The teachers. Only one teacher speaks Yiddish, Chana Boimel, spoke Yiddish. I had with nobody with whom to speak.
Did you know Hebrew, any Hebrew?
מה פתאום? מאיפה היברו?
In Romania they didn't teach you when you...
היה לי המלמד אחרי המלחמה, I was six years old in Chernovitz. I had a מלמד together with my cousin. And I know א' ב' וגם את הקמץ בתחזץ, I know. אחר כך ברדאות, I was in a school, only 2 Jewish children were in the class, but אחר הצהריים,
after lunch,
I came to, it was called Bnei Akiva, and we learned שירים של ישראל, ומה עוד היה שמה? לקרוא לא הייתי צריכה. כשבאתי לארץ,
when you came to Israel,
only this I know, I read, because to connect the אותיות, this I know. זה בסדר. אחר כך כבר ידעתי. זה הכל. Nobody was to help. It was not as later on. There were teachers who helped the עולים חדשים. לא היה כלום. I sit in the class. I start בכיתה ד' and later on, זה אחרי 6 שבועות, זה כל הזמן הקפיצו אותי כיתות.
you went up.
כן, עד לכיתה י' כל הזמן הקפיצו אותי. וזהו. ואחרי כיתה, אחרי י"ב, הפכתי להיות מורה. לא היו צריכים סמינר או משהו.
You could become a teacher straight away?
בטח. כולם. גם אלה שלא למדו יותר מכיתה י' הפכו לטיצ'רס. מה שהיה פה בארץ, העלייה החלה, והיו צריכים, כל מי שידע לכתוב ולקרוא, הפך לטיצ'ר. זה מה שהיה פה. Later, only after he finished טכניון, only then I went to the university. So.
But when you were at school, the friends that you made, did they ask you anything about what happened during the war?
No, nobody's asked, not the teachers, not the children. We didn't speak about it.
Did you speak to your mother a lot about the war?
She knows.
But did you speak with her?
No.
Or with your sister? Did your sister ask?
No, nobody asked because it was taboo. Nobody speaks about those. It has to be forgotten. You have to forget everything. And להדחיק, you know what it means להדחיק? No. Only when the grandchildren started with שורשים, you know what it is, with the root, then התחלנו קצת לדבר.
But with your own children, did you speak with them?
With whom?
With your own children?
With my... No. Of course not.
They never asked you, or they...
They didn't ask, and we were sure that our bite is not a bite of Holocaust. אין Holocaust אצלנו בבית. You know what it means? No Holocaust. זה הבן הבכור שלי,
Your eldest son,
היא יצא לפנסיונו, היא פסיכולוג בהדסה. והוא צחק, אומר, רק, only we, Benzi and I, we were sure there is no Holocaust בבית. And this book, my three kalat are Yekis. And one of the Yekis, she was the producer that I have to write down. And I write it in several days. And I cried, and I didn't want to see it anymore. When we came to Yerushalayim, she takes it to read, to create my mistakes in Hebrew, maybe, and I'm not sure that she finds them. And they took it for the grandchildren. So.
And do the grandchildren ask you a lot of questions?
בוא נאמר ככה, זה הם כבר יודעים.
They know.
הם כבר יודעים. One of my grandchildren, she's a כלה של one of my נכדים, she read it and אמרה, סבתא, it was so, it's real? It's real? It's real.
That's amazing. So can I ask, well, what message do you give to your children and grandchildren and to the future generations?
So they have no other land. זה הארץ היחידה שלנו.
It's the only land.
אין לנו משהו אחר. עם כל הקורבנות. זה מה יש. אין לנו. אין. not אנגליה, לא קנדה, לא ארצות הברית. nobody. המזל של היהודים בעולם שיש ישראל.
The mazal, the luck that of the Jews all over the world is that we have Israel.
זה בדיוק. זהו.
And if you look behind you, you have this most beautiful family.
נכון, נכון.
And in your book as well, you have, it's so magnificent.
משפחה גדולה, וכולם בני אדם. הם כולם בני אדם. You know what it means.
They're like mentioned.
הם מנשן. יש לי, אחד הוא רופא מוטס, שהוא אוסף את הפצועים בשדה הקרב. אחד הוא טייס.
A pilot?
כן, כל הזמן בדרך לצפון. יש לי, יש לי עורכי דין, יש לי רבנים, יש לי רמים, יש לי עורכי דין, יש לי בהייטק, יש לי ב-800, ב-8200. Everywhere I have grandchildren.
It's such a blessing.
So
I just want to thank you. This has been so incredibly special, and I am so grateful to you. I really am. There are no words to thank you enough, and I know it wasn't easy. I know it wasn't easy for you to remember what happened, and but it's full of miracles as well. It's a miracle that you're here today.
It's a lot of miracles.
It's a miracle that you're here.
It's a lot of miracles. A lot of miracles. Because it was not far away that I find באוקראינה, in a village, אני יודעת איפה באיזה כפרים. No, it's a called miracle. Miracle, עכשיו I need a lot of miracles now.
So you should only have mazel and bracha at maybe stream.
Why?
And just better days. You should have Bezrat Hashem peace, and our messages should come back, and Bezrat Tovot. We only need good news.
Me? Who believes in that?
We're going through very, very hard times. But thank God we've got our own country. Thank God we can rely on ourselves. This has been for me the greatest honor and privilege, and from the bottom of my heart I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. It's not simple, but it's unbelievable, and you and your husband are just so incredibly special. So thank you so much.
תודה לך שעשית את העבודה הזאת.